am a female sent-down youth, Myra Sue. 5 years ago, I fell into the water, and Dane Gu happened to be passing by and saved me. I fell in love with him at first sight. For him, I moved into the Gu family despite all the doubts and scornful looks, and I have been carefully taking care of Gu's mother who has been bedridden for years. Gu Mu was moved by my sincerity and insisted that Dane Gu and I get engaged. I have been looking forward to it for 5 years, and we are finally getting married. The wedding is in 2 months. A few days ago, Dane Gu called and said he was transferring from the military to the local police force, and we should be prepared. I came to the county town with great joy and rented a bungalow with a small yard. The bungalow isn't big. Besides the living room and kitchen, there are 3 empty rooms. I spent 3 whole days running around the Supply and Marketing Society and the scrap station, slowly filling the whole house. 3 rooms, one of which was used as a study. I put a small sofa in, which is temporarily used as my sleeping nest. The other room is my fiancé Dane Gu's room. He likes simple and clean. There is only a set of table and chairs, and a wooden bed. The last large room is our wedding room, although it's still early for marriage. I've already started getting everything ready. A red brocade quilt embroidered with mandarin duck swimming, a red floral enameled basin, a red double happiness water bottle, and red paper cuttings on the window. The whole room is red, exuding a festive atmosphere everywhere. Originally, all of this should have been mine. It's a pity. I have to leave. I am back from the dead. This morning, when I woke up, I found myself back 2 months before my death, in my previous life. I gave a lot to Dane Gu, but on the eve of our marriage, a ruthless robber kidnapped me and his moonlight beauty. The robber gave Dane Gu a choice between 2 options. He could only save one. Dane Gu unhesitatingly chose the moonlight beauty, and I was brutally killed by the robber. The moment of death, I was reborn. The pain and despair of being cut are still vivid. I don't want to end up in the same fate in this life, so I decided to leave Dane Gu and let him have his love with his moonlight girl. Years of feelings cannot be let go instantly. Looking at the wedding house in front of me, I still couldn't help but get teary-eyed. After a while, I closed the door. Just about to go to the study to pack his belongings, there was some noise in the courtyard. Soon, a tall figure in a military coat came in with a mother and daughter. It was Dane Gu, who had returned from the military. The woman I also knew was Dane Gu's white moonlight by Shan, and also his comrade's wife. Dane Gu's comrade had an accident and passed away recently. His wife by Shan had a bad relationship with her in-laws and was also looked down upon by her sister-in-law. Forced by circumstances, she had to take her daughter and go back home with Dane Gu. Auntie, hello, Huan, say hello, by Shan, wearing a blue and white checkered coat, greeted politely. Daughter Huan pouted and turned her head away awkwardly. By Shan looked embarrassed. This child, I'm sorry, sister-in-law, nothing. I responded lightly. A child is how the adults raise him. There's no need to get angry with a child. After briefly introducing themselves, Dane Gu pulled me into the study. And the first thing he said was, Myra Sue, Bai Shan is my friend, and she is now living alone with her daughter. It's hard for her. We should help her a bit. Hearing this again, I just felt amused. A man about to get married, helping a widow with a child. If you tell this to anyone, everyone will gossip about it behind your back. But Dane Gu looked like a righteous person, as if he were a helpful and kind person. If I didn't know his thoughts, I might have been easily deceived by him. In my previous life, I was like that, foolishly helping others, only to end up with a tragic outcome. Okay, you help then. I've already decided to leave. It doesn't matter anymore. Dane Gu is satisfied with my sense of the bigger picture. Myra Sue, I knew you would agree. You have always been so kind. I let out a bitter laugh in my heart. Kind people often don't end up well. It's really ironic. Just left the study. Bai Shan's daughter Huan came running over energetically. She tugged at Dane Gu's hand and pouted playfully. Uncle Dane Gu, I want to stay in that room. It's so beautiful. She extended her hand and pointed to the wedding room. My heart skipped a beat. I wanted to say something, but said nothing. Dane Gu gently patted Huan's head, looking indulgent, and said, Okay, stay here, as long as you're happy. Uncle Gu, is this not a bit inappropriate? After all, Bai Shan came over, looking like she wanted to say something but held back. This is her usual trick. always saying half a sentence and leaving the rest for others to say. Dane Ji-yu was afraid she would be wronged, and directly waved his hand. It's okay, you can stay as you like, Myra Sue won't mind. When he finally saw the decoration in the wedding room, his expression didn't change much. Myra Sue, Baishan are just staying for a few days. I will settle them down and move out later. You can rest assured. I nodded silently. It's better. She's staying there is more appropriate than me. Dane Gu's expression paused, his brow furrowed. Myra Sue, can't you stop overthinking? I already said that I and Baishan are just friends. I didn't say anything. In the previous life, I didn't agree, and we had a big argument. Dane Ji-yu said I was being unreasonable and not considering the bigger picture. Now I have done as he wished. He still has other reasons to reprimand me. There's a saying that's true, when you don't love someone, even breathing is wrong. I immediately turned back to the study. Dane Ji-yu was about to catch up, but was blocked by Baishan. Ji-yu, the sister-in-law probably doesn't welcome us. Maybe I should take Huan and leave. Dane Ji-yu immediately became anxious. Where are you going? This is a strange place. Where can you go with the child alone? Baishan. But what if the sister-in-law is upset and leaves? Dane Ji-yu snorted. Don't worry about her. Where else can she go? If she leaves me, she won't have anywhere to go. In an instant, my heart turned icy cold. Dane Ji-yu is right. I really don't have anywhere to go. I was an orphan since childhood, and my aunt's family raised me. Back then, I took my cousin's place to go to the countryside to repay her kindness. Not long after going to the countryside, I accidentally fell into the water, and after Dane Ji-yu saved me, I moved into his house. In recent years, I have been busy taking care of my mother, and I haven't had a close relationship with the other sent-down youth in the youth camp. If I suddenly move back, it will definitely be the subject of gossip. As for the Ji-yu family, although my mother's health is almost back to normal, she is still very weak. She is very good to me, treating me like her own daughter. I don't want her to know about these troubles. So as not to be triggered and have her condition worsen again, I had originally planned to stay at a guest house for a few days. But now, Dane Ji-yu is belittling me in front of his moonlight lover. I suddenly don't want to leave anymore. I'm not willing to accept it. I spent 5 years of my youth for him, took care of his mother as if she were my own, and wholeheartedly prepared the wedding house, only to have it all go to an outsider. I don't know where the courage came from. I hastily picked up my clothes. I opened the door and walked straight into the wedding room in front of 3 people. Bang! I slammed the door shut. Immediately after, I heard Huan's crying and Baishan's comforting voice from outside the door. Dane Ji-yu angrily slammed the door, making me open it. I pressed my head firmly into the pillow, ignoring everything. Dane Ji-yu, angry, left a harsh word. Myra Sue, you're doing well. Not long after, I heard the sound of the courtyard gate closing. It was Dane Ji-yu who took Baishan and the others out. I turned around, lying on the warm red quilt. My heart felt a deep sorrow. Dane Ji-yu was not like this before, although at first, he didn't have any interest in me. But after my 5 years of persistent chasing, he gradually fell in love with me. Dane Ji-yu is busy in the military, rarely comes home, almost once or twice a year, so every month it's me who calls him and writes letters. From the initial impatient responses to later gentle calls of Myra. It took 2 years. For the next 3 years, he would take the initiative to write me letters, telling me some interesting stories from the military. Sometimes when we called, we would talk for a long time until the phone became hot. Every time he comes back, he gives me a big hug and takes me to the state-run restaurant to eat delicious food. Originally, everything was moving in a very good direction, but Baishan's appearance completely disrupted Dane Gu's heart. Baishan is a nurse. Beautiful and cheerful and very popular in the military. Dane Ji-yu once had a crush on her, but after Baishan chose another man from a wealthy family, that crush was buried in his heart. Baishan was a friend of Dane Ji-yu, and also his unattainable white moonlight. If her husband had not died unexpectedly, Dane Ji-yu would never have done anything improper. But now, he has lost control. Regardless of people's opinions, he firmly took Baishan and her daughter home. He completely forgot that I, his fiancé, was waiting for him at home. Later, he even abandoned me for the white moonlight, causing me to die with my eyes open. I should be angry with him, but I just can't bring myself to hate him. If Dane Ji-yu hadn't saved me, if I hadn't fallen in love with him at first sight, if he had never liked me, Then I could have easily taken my revenge on him. But it's a pity, these things really happened, I can't be ruthless, so I can only choose to leave. My eyes looked at the calendar on the wall. There are 10 days left, the university admission letter will be issued. In my previous life, I unconditionally tore up the admission letter for Dane GU and settled down to get married. This life, I won't be so foolish again. 10 days, it will come soon. Then, I will be able to leave this place completely. The next day at noon, Dane GU returned, holding a paper package in his hand. You haven't eaten yet, have you? I saw that the state-run restaurant was selling roast duck, so I bought one for you. I was a bit stunned. Yesterday we were still in a Cold War, but today Dane GU bought me Peking duck. This is not his style. In the past, when we argued, Dane GU never took the initiative to make up, and every time it was me who apologized and sought reconciliation. I didn't expect him to have a day of lowering his head. What are you thinking about? Eat up, or it will get cold and not be good to eat. Dane GU tore off a large duck leg and put it in my hand. My heart warmed up. I love eating roasted duck legs. He remembers, the skin of the roasted duck leg is golden and crispy, and the moment you bite into it, the fragrant flavor fills your mouth. It's really delicious. My eyes lit up, and I started eating it heartily. Dane GU was just looking at me, with a smile on his lips. I urged him, eat. Why are you looking at me? I'm not going to eat anymore. I need to ask you something. I looked at Dane GU and heard him continue, Myra, Baishan and Huan have no relatives here. It's not convenient for me to take them in and out. Maybe you can tell others that they are your distant relatives, and I will help take care of them, so no one will say anything. In an instant, the duck leg in my mouth suddenly didn't smell good anymore. I see, that's how it is. I wondered why he had suddenly become so attentive. It was all because of his moonlight beauty. A bitter taste rose in my throat, and I put down the duck leg in my hand, with a calm expression. I don't have distant relatives. You can say they are yours. Dane GU's face froze. Myra Sue, why have you become so narrow-minded? Are you thinking something wrong again? No, I'm full. Do as you please. I wiped my hands and stood up to leave. Myra Sue, Dane GU suddenly stood up and stared at me angrily. What are you talking about? We are getting married in 2 months. Don't you still trust me? I looked at his angry eyes and suddenly laughed. Dane GU. If I bring a man home and say I need a wedding house for him to live in, would you agree? Dane GU's face showed concern. He was about to explain. A worried cry from Huan was heard from outside. Uncle Dane GU, wailing. My mom is missing. Dane GU left. He left in a hurry, not even giving me a glance. I should have known. He will always choose the moonlight girl over me. I shouldn't have had expectations. I sat down again. The fragrant roast duck was still warm, at its most delicious time. It shouldn't be wasted. I am eating roast duck, one bite after another. Salty tears soaked the crispy duck meat. A bit sour, a bit bitter. Let go, Myra Sue, I said to myself in my heart. This person is not worth missing. Before I knew it, I ended up eating an entire roasted duck. The result is that my stomach is very full. I decided to go out for a walk to digest. Walking along, I arrived at the entrance of a state-owned hair salon. The old man by the door was lazily lying on a recliner, basking in the sun. Seeing that I hadn't moved for a while, he lifted his eyelid and looked at me. Young man, do you want a haircut? I shook my head. No, the old man advised. Have a haircut. After the college entrance exam was restored last year, society has become more open. Many young people come to me for trendy hairstyles. You're so handsome, it would be a waste not to get one. I touched the 2 braids on my chest and felt a bit tempted in my heart. Which girl doesn't want to be a bit more beautiful? Then just cut it. In the end, I finally went into the hair salon. An hour later, looking in the mirror, I almost didn't recognize myself. My 2 thick, long braids were cut off, and I was left with a neat, short haircut. It highlights my round face, making me look youthful and lively, as if I've become several years younger. The barber smiled at me while cutting my hair. Young man, I told you, you look really good with short hair. You're so handsome. Thank you, old man. I smiled and paid the money, then left the barber shop, maybe because I got a new hairstyle. My previously heavy-hearted mood suddenly became light. The hazy street in front of me has become much brighter. I think I am going to change once, not for others, but for myself. I went to the supply and marketing cooperative. Dane Ji served in the military for many years, and his allowance increased year by year, and he sent most of it back every time. Gu's mother thanked me for taking care of her, and every month she gave me 3 yuan to save. After saving for 5 years, after some necessary expenses, there was 150 yuan left and some tickets. In the past, I lived frugally and didn't dare to spend unnecessarily, and when my clothes and shoes were worn out, I would mend them and wear them again. But later, I didn't spend a single cent, yet the person died. I'll do it all over again. I decide not to be so frugal, spend when needed. I bought a lot of things at the Supply and Marketing Society. No hair decoration, a sky blue gauze headscarf please. My face is red and wrinkled from the cold wind. Get a bottle of snow cream. The cotton pants and underpants are stiff from washing. I need to buy 2 sets for change. The pants have patches. Buy a new one to replace them. There are cracked rubber shoes. My big toes are cracked from the cold. A new pair of cotton shoes on my feet soon became warm and cozy. As soon as I finished shopping at each counter, I used them immediately. Soon, I felt completely refreshed. I looked at my dusty cotton coat. Her eyes searched the coat counter, finally settling on a sky blue coat. Comrade, please show me that blue coat, while trying on the clothes. The counter salesperson who always looked down his nose at people couldn't help but praise. Comrade, you look really good in this coat. Many people have tried it before, but you fit it best. I smiled. Thank you. I'll take it. How much is it? The counter salesperson. This is very expensive. It's imported from Shanghai. It's 55 yuan and 1 cloth ticket. I nodded. It's okay. I'll take it. I still had more than 120 yuan in my pocket, which was enough, just as I was about to pay. A surprised voice came from behind me, Myra Sue. I turned around and met a pair of dark, ink-like eyes. Myra, it's really you. Dane Ji stared at me, his eyes flickering with admiration. You look very pretty today. The clothes you're wearing suit you well. Thank you. I gave a cold nod. Casting a glance at the 2 figures beside him, Bai Shan smiled at me and said hello. Then, from my view, she pinched her daughter Huan hard. Huan immediately cried out in pain. Dane Ji turned his gaze away from me and looked at Huan with a worried expression. Huan, what's wrong? Huan bit her lip and looked at Bai Shan nervously. Then she said, Mr. Dane Ji, my mom also likes this dress. Can you buy one for her too? Dane Ji didn't hesitate, and immediately nodded. Of course I can. Bai Shan pretended to delay for a while, but finally accepted. But unfortunately, this style of coat is only one left, and I bought it. I have already successfully made the payment. I wanted to leave, but Dane Ji didn't let me. Myra Sue, why don't you let Bai Shan have this clothes? I'll pay you double. Okay, not at all. I firmly refused. I can let a man with a changed heart. I will never let go of what belongs to me. Dane Ji furrowed his brow. Myra Sue, you know how hard it is for Bai Shan to raise a child alone, yet you still want to oppose her. Your mindset is wrong. I had intended not to respond, but I just couldn't stand it anymore. Dane Ji, what you're saying is really ridiculous. Is it my fault that she lost her husband? Is it my fault that she is occupying our marital home with her children? Is it my fault that she wants me to give her my clothes? A 3-part question that left everyone speechless. The counter salesperson who was eating sunflower seeds and watching the show spat out the shell. I was wondering why there was a smelly odor. She's already a widow, yet she dares to flirt with someone else's boyfriend. Truly shameless. Bai Shan turned pale and swayed unsteadily. Sister-in-law, I didn't know you thought of me like this. I won't live anymore. Saying that, she covered her face and ran out crying. Mom. Huan immediately burst into tears. Dane Ji looked calm and shouted at me, Myra Sue, you are simply unreasonable. If anything happens to Bai Shan, I will never forgive you. Saying those harsh words, he picked up Huan and immediately chased after her. The counter salesperson was speechless. Comrade, is that really your partner? She has worked at the Supply and Marketing Cooperative for many years, and she has seen all kinds of women. That person named Bai Shan seems very hypocritical. For such a person, giving up your fiancé is really a stupid move. The counter lady looked full of indignation. I smiled bitterly and responded to her. Once was, but not anymore. The counter lady understood what I meant. It's okay, break up with him. I'll introduce you to a better one. Thank you, sister. I smiled from the bottom of my heart. Even a stranger can show me kindness, yet the person I love the most hurts me the most. 10. Back home. Dane Gu is also here. Back again. His voice carried a hint of apology. I didn't respond to him, walked past him directly, and entered the wedding room. Put all the things I bought in place, then rested in bed for a while. When he went out again, Dane Gu was still standing in the same place. Myra Sue, let's talk. What's there to talk about? Did you find Bai Shan? Don't let her run off again, or it'll be my fault. Dane Gu's face immediately turned dark. Myra Sue, can't you stop speaking so harshly every time? I've told you I have nothing with Bai Shan. Why don't you believe me? I'm so tired. I don't want to argue with him anymore. Do you know? When a person's inner pain points are touched, they will become so angry and ashamed. Dane Gu, you know very well. Dane Gu almost fled in panic. I silently went back to my room. My eyes couldn't help but look at the wall. There are 9 days left. 9 days later, I will be able to leave this heartbreaking place forever. Dane Gu, you should be happy, right? For some reason, the fact that I had a cold war with Dane Gu reached Gu's mother's ears. The next morning early, a frail old woman huffed and puffed as she carried a large package to the front door. Mom, what are you doing here? I was full of surprise. Quickly taking the sack from her hands and inviting her into the house, the old woman didn't move. Staring at my face again and again, Myra, you've lost weight, just one sentence, and my tears fell down. The old woman's face immediately changed, and she turned to leave. Is it that annoying boy Dane Gu who bullied you? I'll go and settle the score with him. I quickly stopped her. Mom, it's okay, listen to me. I lied to the old lady. I said that Dane Gu had been busy with his transfer matters since he came back, and hadn't had time to accompany me, which is why we had a conflict. As for Bai Shan and her daughter, I was also aware of it, and Dane Gu was just being helpful. The old woman still had some doubts, but I brushed them off with a vague excuse. Mom, I'm hungry. As soon as I said that, the old woman rushed into the kitchen to prepare something. I followed her in. I brought you a lot of vegetables from my own yard, including your favorite asparagus and Chinese cabbage. I also brought some vermicelli, so I can make a Chinese cabbage and vermicelli stew for you. Don't be shy about eating the eggs. I bought 50 local eggs from Aunt Ma next door, and I brought them all for you. Remember to eat one a day. The old woman kept taking things out of the sack while talking incessantly. Tears immediately blurred my eyes. Mom, you go ahead and take care of it. I'm going to the toilet. I choked back my tears and ran out of the kitchen. I hid in the wedding room, covered my mouth, and cried hard. When the old lady knocked on my door, I had already composed myself. My eyes were slightly swollen, but they found out, but she said nothing. Just kept putting the dishes I liked into my bowl. We sat in silence, yet we finished lunch in a warm and cozy manner. After lunch, the old lady was going back. Before leaving, she tightly held my hand and said with concern, Myra, if that guy treats you badly, come back home. The door will always be open for you. I nodded, and my eyes welled up again. I'm sorry, old lady. I went back on my word. I will never go back home again. There are 8 days left. The college admission letter will be in my hands 8 days later. Then I can go to the youth office to get a certificate and leave this place. Countdown to leaving. The 7th day. I did nothing that day. I just slept in the new house, no matter how I try to sleep. I can't fall asleep. My mind is a mess. My head is splitting. After thinking about it, I still decided to go back to the countryside to clear things up with the old lady. After all, we lived together for 5 years, and our relationship has always been good. I couldn't just leave without saying goodbye. The next morning, I went back to the countryside. When she saw me back, the old lady was very happy. Last night, Mrs., he gave me a few crucian carp. It's just right that you're back. I'll make you a bowl of crucian carp and radish soup. It's very fresh. Besides the crucian carp and radish soup, Grandma also made egg pancakes and spicy kimchi, all of which are my favorite dishes. After a meal, my whole stomach was full. After the meal, I rushed to wash the dishes and also tidied up the room and the yard. Finally, he said, Mom, let's go for a walk. The countryside in the afternoon is very quiet. I took the old woman's hand and walked quietly along the country path. My heart also calm. Halfway through, the old woman suddenly asked me, Myra, do you have something to say to me? I stopped and finally told her the truth. Mom, I'm sorry. I might not be able to be your daughter-in-law. In front of the old lady, I didn't say a bad word about Dane Ji-yu. I just told her that I and Dane Ji-yu have incompatible personalities, and I don't want to marry him anymore. The old woman didn't believe it and quickly asked me what had happened. I told her that Dane Ji-yu didn't have me in his heart, he actually had someone he liked, and I chose to let go and let them be together. After hearing this, the old woman got angry and kept stomping her feet, saying she would go and confront Dane Ji-yu. I directly refused. A person who has lost their heart cannot be won back no matter how much you try. I don't want to see the old lady getting too involved with Dane Ji-yu. They are mother and son, and I can't let them drift apart because of me, an outsider. That night, I lay in the same bed with the old lady and had a heartfelt conversation. The old woman was sighing all the time. "Ah, that brat really doesn't know how lucky he is. You're so good and he doesn't even cherish you. I'll definitely scold him later. Myra, don't be sad. That brat doesn't deserve to marry you. From now on, you can just be my daughter, and we'll live together happily." I didn't respond and pretended to be asleep. 6 days left. If the old lady knew I was leaving, she would probably be very sad. I slept soundly last night, which was rare. After breakfast, I said goodbye to the old lady and went back to the county town. Opening the door, I was immediately stunned. In just 1 day away from home, everything inside had completely changed. In the living room, children's toys and shoes were scattered all over the place. In a mess, I had a bad feeling in my heart and hurried towards the bedroom. As soon as I opened the door, my breath caught. My carefully prepared red quilt was carelessly thrown on the floor, with several muddy footprints on it. The enamel basin and the water bottle were knocked over beside, and the floor was all wet. The red paper cut on the window was torn into pieces. The clothes I bought at the Supply and Marketing Cooperative 2 days ago were pierced with scissors in several places, especially that light blue coat. I folded it carefully and put it by the bed, planning to wear it on the day I left. But someone maliciously splashed red ink all over it. The originally beautiful and stylish coat is ruined beyond recognition. Just like my heart, it has been thoroughly messed up. Trembling with my hands, I picked up the garment. Ruined, everything is destroyed. Several footsteps were heard outside. "Myra, you're back." Dane Ji-yu looked at me with surprise. His smile paused when his eyes met my ashen expression. "Myra, Dane Ji-yu," I interrupted his voice, speaking one word at a time. "Let's call off the engagement." Dane Gu's face immediately turned serious. "Myra, do you know what you're saying?" I looked at him coldly. "Do you want me to repeat that?" Dane Ji-yu gritted his teeth. I disagree. I disagree with us breaking off the engagement. Sister-in-law, is it because of me and Huan? Then maybe we should just leave. You shouldn't fight with Uncle Ji-yu, or people outside will laugh at you. Bai Shan said it with her mouth, but her eyes were full of schadenfreude. Her words were really cutting. Saying throwing a tantrum shifted all the blame onto me, making me seem overly picky. As expected, Dane Ji-yu was still a bit upset. Upon hearing this, his expression became complicated. "Myra Sue, you're being too stubborn. You can't threaten me by canceling our engagement. That's not right." "I didn't." "What? I mean, I'm not threatening you. I really don't want to marry you anymore." I saw Dane Gu's face gradually turning pale. He trembled his lips, staring at me in disbelief, about to say something. Suddenly, a clear slapping sound was heard, accompanied by Bai Shan's angry voice. "It's all your fault, you stupid girl. If it wasn't for you messing with Aunt Myra Sue's things, how would she have argued with Uncle Dane Ji-yu? Go and apologize to her." Huan covered her face and cried loudly, saying sorry to me while crying. I didn't look at her and turned my body away. Bai Shan slapped Huan on the head again and ordered her to kneel and apologize to me. Dane Ji-yu couldn't take it anymore. "Enough, Myra Sue. How much longer are you going to cause trouble? Do you really want to make this family chaotic? Apologize to Bai Shan Huan right now." My chest suddenly felt a sharp, prickling pain. This is what it feels like when disappointment reaches its peak. I'm the one who was wronged, but why does it seem like I'm the one who did something wrong? Why did Bai Shan come and take everything I had? "I don't apologize. I'm not wrong," I shouted loudly, my eyes red and frightening. Dane Ji-yu was scared by my expression. I had never been so uncomposed in front of him before, which made him very uneasy. "Myra Sue, stay calm. Let's talk things over calmly." Seeing the situation was going wrong, Bai Shan quickly pulled her daughter Huan down to her knees. "Sister-in-law, I apologize. It's all our fault. don't blame Gudage. Please forgive him. Dane Gu's face immediately changed. Baishan, what are you doing? Get up quickly. Don't kneel anymore. No, Baishan cried, her face tear-streaked, shaking her head. If the sister-in-law doesn't forgive you, we won't get up. Seeing her fake and insincere appearance, I felt really sick. Then you can kneel for a lifetime, Myra Sue. Dane Gu's voice suddenly rose, looking at me with disappointment. How could you become like this? It really disappoints me. I didn't want to argue with him anymore, and I turned to leave. Dane Gu tried to block me with his arm, but Huan suddenly screamed, "Ah, Mom, what's wrong with you, Mom?" Baishan fainted. Myra Sue, are you satisfied? Look at what you've done. Dane Gu glared at me with clenched teeth, quickly picked up Baishan, and left with Huan in a hurry. Baishan, lying in his arms, secretly opened her eyes and gave me a victorious smile. At this moment, I felt helpless. A desire to retaliate against her arose in my heart, but I still held back. I don't want to have any more entanglements with them. I can't ruin Dane Gu, even for the old lady. I can't ruin him, out of sight, out of mind. That night, I moved out and stayed in a hostel. There are 5 days left. 5 days later, I will be free. Dane Gu stayed with Baishan for 2 days in the hospital. Although she was fine, he still took great care of her. Even the nursing staff couldn't help but praise him. Comrade, you're really good to your wife. If I had a husband like you who knows how to take care of people, I would probably smile in my sleep. Dane Gu was stunned. He really wanted to say that Baishan was not his wife, but he couldn't bring himself to say it out loud. It turned out that, in the eyes of others, he had been getting along so close with Baishan. No wonder Myra Sue had misunderstood him. I wonder how she's been doing at home these past 2 days, whether she's been crying. Well, he went back home that night. Just as I thought, a weak voice came from beside me. Gu, my chest is hurting. Dane Gu's heart skipped a beat, and he immediately stood up. I'll go get a doctor. No need. Baishan grabbed his arm and made him sit down. Just stay and talk with me. Saying that, she continued, I don't know how your sister-in-law is doing. She's probably still angry with you. Maybe when I'm better, I and Huan will leave. I don't want you two to have a bad relationship. Dane Gu's brow furrowed deeply. Baishan gave Huan a meaningful look, and Huan immediately opened her mouth and burst into tears, wailing, Mommy, I don't want to go. We have nowhere to go, Uncle Gu. Don't make us leave, okay? Huan cried helplessly, which made Dane Gu feel extremely heartbroken. Don't cry, little brother. I won't make you leave. You can rest assured. Baishan bit her lip. But what about the sister-in-law? She will definitely be upset. Dane Gu snorted. If she's upset, then she can just move out. The moment the words fell, a frail figure came in holding a rolling pin. He was beaten up by Dane Gu without any warning. You little brat, you really want to drive me crazy. Why didn't you choose Myra, but instead of Fox Spirit Widow? No wonder Myra's eyes were swollen from crying. You come back with me and apologize to her. Otherwise I will never forgive you. Mom. Don't hit me anymore. Dane Gu was running away with his head in his hands. In the end, he had no choice but to hand over the rolling pin. The old woman was so angry that she hit him several times on the back. Give me the rolling pin. I'm not done hitting you yet. Baishan got off the sickbed, looking weak as she approached and said, Auntie, calm down. The old woman pushed her hard. You sly fox, go away from me. Huan rushed over immediately. Don't bully my mom. The old woman glared at her. A child of a fox spirit isn't anything good. Dane Gu can't take it anymore. Mom, that's enough. Don't say anymore. The old woman looked at him in disbelief. Dane Gu, you actually yelled at me for a fox spirit. Are you still my son? Dane Gu, Mom, Baishan saved my life. You can't say that about her, old woman. Then Myra also saved your life. Why are you hurting her heart like that? What? Dane Gu was stunned. When did she save me, old woman? That was last year during the Dragon Boat Festival. She secretly met you, came back with injuries, and that night she had a high fever. If she hadn't accidentally said it in her days, I wouldn't have known she had almost lost her life for you. Myra didn't tell me about this, fearing I would worry. I thought you knew, so I didn't mention it. Dane Gu's face turned dark in an instant. He mechanically turned his head and looked at Baishan with a dark expression. Baishan, you said it was you who saved me, right? Countdown to departure, the 3rd day. Dane Gu appears at the entrance of the inn. He earnestly blocked me. Myra, give me a little time, let's talk. I looked at him coldly. These 2 days at the guest house, I have recalled many things and thought a lot. Maybe I don't love Dane Gu that much. It's just because I was an orphan since childhood and was too desperate for love, so I kept taking it from him, hoping for his response. Now I have finally realized, to let others love you, you first need to learn to love yourself. From now on, I will focus my eyes on myself and work hard to become better. I have also found something. I don't love Dane Gu anymore, even if he is in front of me. My heart doesn't stir the slightest ripples. If that's the case, then there's nothing more to say to him. I turned to leave, but Dane Gu grabbed my arm and wouldn't let go. Myra, didn't you come to the military unit last year during the Dragon Boat Festival? I didn't say anything. I went to look for Dane Gu last year, but I accidentally got lost on the way. I accidentally entered a forest and met Dane Gu, who was injured while on a mission. He had many wounds on his body and was bleeding, unconscious. It was also raining in the sky, and I was worried he would get wet, so I struggled to drag him to a cave to take shelter from the rain. That night, it was raining heavily. Dane Gu has been running a high fever. I was really worried. I was tearing my coat into strips to tie it on him to stop the bleeding, while using the remaining strips to collect rainwater and put it on his head to cool him down. After a whole night of effort, he finally broke the fever, just when I was happy. There was some noise outside, and the gangsters who had previously hurt Dane Gu came looking for him. I was afraid Dane Gu would be hurt again, so I changed into his coat and ran out to distract them. After fleeing in the forest for 2 days and 1 night, I was saved by a kind hunter. He sent me to the train, which allowed me to return to the countryside. I didn't say anything at the time because I was worried about old lady and Dane Gu. I didn't expect Dane Gu to find out anyway. Myra, tell me, was it you who saved me back then? Dane Gu was staring at me intently, desperately wanting to see the answer on my face. Does it matter? Dane Gu was stunned. Myra, I looked into his eyes. Dane Gu, it doesn't matter whether I saved you or not. Do you understand? In the past life, I found out later. It turned out that Dane Gu had mistaken the person who saved him. There is also this reason for him being so kind to Bai Shan. I have explained this to him, but he didn't believe me at all. I said to find an old lady to prove it, and he said his mother is on my side and will definitely help me. I have no words. My heart is numb with pain. After coming back, I had many chances to tell him, but I didn't. I don't want to complicate things. Anyway, everything doesn't matter anymore. Seeing my indifferent attitude, Dane Gu became nervous. Myra, I can explain. What do you need to explain? Don't tell me you've never had any feelings for Bai Shan, and you didn't have any thoughts about her at all. Dane Gu, yes, I admit, I once liked her, but that was a long time ago. If it wasn't for her lying to me, saying that she saved me back then, I wouldn't have contacted her again. This time, when her husband died, I was thinking about her saving me before, so I was momentarily soft-hearted and brought her back. Don't think too much, okay? I couldn't help but laugh. Dane Gu, now that it's come to this, you're still lying. Dane Gu's face turned pale. You still have feelings for her. Yet you're reluctant to let go of me, the new one, so you're hesitating between us. Do you still used to imagine that I could get along with Bai Shan and live happily together? What a sentimental fool. Just a selfish person after all. I have finally seen through Dane Gu's true nature, but Dane Gu himself is too afraid to admit it. Myra, don't say that. I only love you, believe me. Okay, I pulled my arm back and looked at him with disdain. Dane Gu, you are really a person who makes me sick. Let's end it here. Countdown to departure. 2 days left. Bai Shan appeared with an air of superiority. She was wearing a brand new blue coat and boasted, "Is it good looking? Gu Dage bought it for me, and he said if I marry him, he will buy me a few more." I looked at her face and sincerely advised, "Sister, maybe you should go back and apply a few more layers of white paint on your face before going out. Your dark circles under your eyes are too obvious." Bai Shan shouted in anger. "What are you so proud of? You're just a pitiful nobody. Wait and see. Let's see who's right. I am about to start a new life and see a broader world. How long can a love obtained through scheming last? I am watching and waiting. The last day, worried about something going wrong. I went directly to the post office and collected my university admission letter, went to the youth office again and completed all the procedures and the departure certificate. Finally went to the train station and bought a train ticket to Beijing for tomorrow noon. Looking at the train ticket in my hand, I showed the happiest smile in a while. Finally, I can finally leave. Clang clang, the green train starts moving. This time I didn't tell anyone, not even the old lady. However, I left her a big package and had the postman deliver it to her. It was fully packed with things I bought for her at the Supply and Marketing Society. The old woman had saved all her life, never spending anything, and these things would be enough for her to use for a long time. Gazing at the small county town gradually disappearing in the distance, my heart is full of melancholy. Goodbye, my 5 years of youth. Goodbye, old lady. 3 days later, I arrived in the city smoothly. Although I had been sitting on a hard-seat train for 3 days and nights, I was still full of energy. Gazing at the new environment, I took a deep breath and smiled brightly. Myra Sue, your world is here. I will be very busy for the coming period, busy with enrollment, busy with classes, busy working in the cafeteria, busy building connections. Every day is tiring but also fulfilling and happy. It is a happiness that goes beyond oneself. I am smiling every day. I never thought about it. I one day would be so happy. Truly, I am so happy. The day I arrived in Beijing, I called old lady Xiao and told her about my situation. Old lady Xiao was not at all sad, but laughed loudly on the phone. Myra, you are really my pride. Our family has a college student now. Hearing her say that, I felt a great sense of relief in my heart. The guilt that had been lingering in my heart also faded away. From then on, every month, I would call the post office in my hometown. From the old lady, I learned about the recent updates on Dane Jiyu and Bai Shan. They still got married. Originally, Dane Jiyu wanted to send Bai Shan and Huan Huan away, but Bai Shan kept spreading everywhere that she was Dane Gu's fiancée, and often went to his workplace to bring him meals. Now, no matter how Dane Jiyu tried to explain, he couldn't clear it up. For his future, for Bai Shan's reputation, he married her. But Dane Jiyu never expected it. The girl he had been longing to marry, who was his white moonlight, turned out to be a compulsive gambler. Yes, Bai Shan is a gambler. Her former husband died in an accident because he was working hard to make money to fill her gambling debts. Her in-laws and her parents-in-law didn't accept her, also because of this reason. But Dane Jiyu didn't know that. He was seduced by her charm, and by the time he realized, it was too late. Bai Shan secretly borrowed money from several of his colleagues and neighbors in his name. Dane Jiyu spent almost all the savings he earned in the military over the years to pay off all his debts. He had originally intended to divorce Bai Shan, but Bai Shan knelt on the ground, slapped herself hard, and vowed never to gamble again. Daughter Huan Huan also knelt on the ground, crying and bowing. Eventually, Dane Jiyu gave in. Later, the three of them had a period of peaceful and warm life. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. Bai Shan became pregnant after learning about this matter. Huan Huan, who has always been well behaved in public, suddenly exploded. She has often been oppressed by her mother, Bai Shan, who also has little maternal love for her. It was the appearance of Dane Jiyu that saved her. But now, Dane Jiyu is going to have a biological child with Bai Shan. Her status would definitely return to the past, even worse than before. This is something she absolutely cannot tolerate. So one morning, Huan Huan intentionally spilled a bowl of beans on Bai Shan's feet, as expected. Bai Shan fell and had a miscarriage, and could never bear children again. It was only after Dane Jiyu conducted a detailed investigation that it was discovered. No one could believe that the cute and soft-looking Huan Huan had such an evil side. Ultimately, it was Bai Shan's fault. If she had properly educated Huan Huan, Huan Huan wouldn't have become this way. Because of this, Dane Gu's feelings for Bai Shan completely faded away. He again wanted a divorce, but Bai Shan was like bubblegum, firmly refusing to back down. Later, a robber wanted to take revenge on Dane Jiyu, and kidnapped Bai Shan and Huan Huan, forcing Dane Jiyu to choose between them. The drama is, this time Dane Jiyu didn't choose anyone. If it weren't for the police officers arriving quickly, Bai Shan and Huan Huan might have been killed. After this incident, Dane Jiyu and Bai Shan completely fell out. The two of them quarreled so badly that they fought almost every day. And even their neighbors couldn't help shaking their heads when talking about it. The old woman spoke about these things with great sighs. Myra, it would have been so much better if Dane Jiyu had married you. Every time he returns to the countryside, he is silent, and I feel sorry for him. I didn't tell her that if I had chosen Dane Ji-yu, I might have died, just smiled and said, "It's all over. There's nothing to talk about." Actually, Dane Ji-yu called me once and said he regretted it. The next day, Baishan called me and scolded me in a hysterical way. From then on, every time I received a call from Dane Ji-yu, I would hang up immediately. He seemed to know about my avoidance and never called me again. 2 months later, I received an anonymous letter. It contained a silver watch and a piece of paper. The silver watch was very familiar. I remember once seeing it with Dane Ji-yu at the provincial department store. I really liked that watch, but it was over $100, which was very expensive. So I didn't dare to ask Dane Ji-yu to buy it for me. I didn't expect him to buy it anyway, but it was already too late. The content of the letter paper was very simple, just 3 words, "Sorry," filled up an entire page. The spots of tears on the paper show how sad the person who wrote the letter was. But what does that have to do with me? I will return the watch as it is. As for the letter, I burned it to ashes. Late feelings are even more worthless than grass. I don't want it anymore. My university major is medical research. I entered the lab with my advisor before graduating, spending day and night doing experiments. Finally, in the year of my graduation, I participated in an experiment that was a huge success. My name was remembered by everyone. Even the national newspapers have my name and photo. The school gave me a large reward. I specifically brought the old lady to Beijing, planning to take her around to tour. This time, the old lady came and told me some news. Dane Ji-yu could not bear the torment from Baishan and applied for service in the border areas. Baishan did not want to live that kind of hard life and secretly had an affair, which was discovered by Dane Ji-yu. This time, he finally had a legitimate reason to divorce Baishan, because of disrupting social customs. Baishan was sent to a county pig farming factory for labor. As for Huan, Dane Ji-yu sent her back to Baishan's family, where they would raise her. Old woman, ah. This annoying guy really brought misfortune upon himself, ruining a good life, truly deserved it. This time, the old woman didn't say anything like, "If only I had married Dane Ji-yu," because she knew that I had surpassed Dane Ji-yu by a lot, and he could only look on in awe. The old lady has a great mindset. She only sighed a few times on the first day, and then she was full of energy. I took her to watch the flag-raising ceremony at Tiananmen Square, and also to climb the Great Wall and eat Peking duck. The old lady smiles all the time every day. She tells everyone that I am her daughter, a researcher, and praises me for being thoughtful and filial. Strangers by the roadside all gave her thumbs up, and the old lady became even happier. The day I went back, old madam tightly held my hand and said, "Myra, take good care of yourself when you're outside, and make sure to take care of your health. You have a long way to go." "I will, Auntie Ji-yu." I watched her get on the train and then looked up at the sky. Clear skies, bright sunshine. Since heaven has given me a second chance, this time, I will definitely seize the opportunity and create my own life.